I have a big family that's incredibly close. We have big family dinners every few months, meeting at my great-grandfather's estate and eating together. Typically, how this works is that the women go cook for the time they're there, and the men don't. I am fully aware it's misogynistic as crap. That being said, I'm one of the youngest people in the family, and my protests mean literally nothing. Some of these women choose not to cook. However, this is usually met with a level of ostracizing. The women who don't cook are wives and long-term girlfriends, so they kinda already have a good family relationship doctored in. When I've seen new partners not cook, it's gone badly. Like completely ostracized, not speaking, cattiness, rudeness, etc. This dinner will be in 2 weeks, and my girlfriend was asked if she would attend. Initially, she said yes, which is great. I want her to meet everyone and for everyone to get used to her being around. Still, she was understandably bothered when I explained the tradition to her. I told her that I understood where she was coming from. However, it was best for everyone if she just played along. I told her this wasn't a permanent thing, and I was only asking her to do this to avoid bad treatment from the rest of the family. This is her first impression, and it isn't best if we cause waves. She told me that it was unacceptable, and that if she had to do it, she wouldn't be going. I've tried to find a compromise with her on this, but she won't budge, and she's pissed at me. She told me that if I think it's acceptable to make her do this, I'm just as bad as everyone else. While my point is, she needs to make a good first impression. Am I the idiot? Why is my girlfriend mad that my family expects her to cook for them after inviting her to dinner as a guest? Why won't my girlfriend abandon her sense of self-respect to establish herself as a subservient woman tool so that my misogynistic family won't mentally and verbally abuse her? She just doesn't get it. Her protests are literally meaningless. You are the idiot. What about your family making a good first impression on her and not expecting her to be an unpaid cook and servant? My thought exactly. OP's so concerned about the impression his girlfriend will make on his family, but they've just immediately made a bad impression on her. Why on earth would she want anything to do with this family now? Also, this isn't going to be a first impression. This is going to be every time she sees his family. This is just setting the status quo. Why doesn't OP get in the kitchen and interrupt this archaic arrangement by helping himself? Oh, I know the answer. If they had real money, the help would be cooking dinner. The women wouldn't be caught dead in the kitchen. The women wouldn't know what to do. I have a similar story. I noticed on my mother's side, after a big family dinner, all the adult women would help the host, wife only, of course, clean. As a young adult or late teen, my mom decided to summon me to come help. I grabbed my twin brother and male cousin and brought them into the kitchen. My mother told me it was women's work, but they stayed and helped. Guess what? That crap stopped happening. I agree. Why doesn't he help? Because it's emasculating. OP, she's absolutely right. You're trying to make yourself sound better than your old-fashioned misogynistic family, but you're actually no different from them. I suspect it won't be an issue for long, though. Your girlfriend seems to have seen what you're really like. I'd be surprised if she isn't considering ending things. Last Saturday, my wife had her baby shower, which was a very long event from midday until 10 p.m. Prior to this, while we were planning the baby shower and sending out invites, I had initially intended to invite my entire family. However, my wife informed me that the baby shower would be female only, which confused me. I've attended baby showers for all my female relatives in my family, so it felt like this was a cultural difference. Unfortunately, this meant I had to embarrassingly uninvite people after sending out invitations. Initially, I didn't make a big deal out of it because it was my wife's special day. However, later on, she told me that the no men rule also extended to me. I thought she was joking, but she was serious, explaining that it's customary in her family to have a ladies-only baby shower. At this point, I became upset. In a baby shower that I was paying for and planning, I was excluded from my wife's event in my home? I found it absurd. The party lasted about 10 hours, and I was expected to leave my house for the entire duration. We argued back and forth about this issue. It seemed ridiculous to me that, as her husband, I was not allowed to attend my wife's baby shower. Her sister overheard our argument and supported my wife's stance, saying that men are typically not invited to baby showers and that my presence would ruin the atmosphere and the vibe. This disagreement occurred 3 weeks before the baby shower, and even the day before the event, I tried reasoning with my wife again to let me stay, but she still refused. She also told some of her family members about our argument because I got an angry text from her mother telling me to just listen to what she says, since the baby shower's for her, not me, and that she can decide who attends and who doesn't. I still refuse to leave since it's our home, and I'm literally paying for the event. I managed to compromise by just chilling in the backyard, where everyone else was inside. My wife still wasn't happy about it though. Am I the idiot here? Why would anyone want to attend a 10-hour baby shower, let alone host it? What was happening at this event? 10 hours? And why are you hosting your own baby shower? It's a gift-giving event, which is why someone else is supposed to host it for you. Not the idiot. The fact that you want to be so involved should be cherished, not punished. His being in the backyard seems a lot less petty when you remember that the baby shower was 10 hours long. But I can't get past OP paying for the shower. I've never seen that before. In my experience, baby and bridal showers are given by close friends as part of the gift. Having the new mom and bride plan and paying for the shower is ridiculous. She's got enough going on already. I'm from Texas, so maybe it's a Southern thing. Everyone's the idiot. You both should work on communicating better with each other. Baby showers are traditionally female only, and co-ed baby showers are more of a recent thing, with some cultures adopting the practice more openly than others. Your wife shouldn't have assumed that you knew this tradition though, and should have expressed her intentions while you guys were planning. You're not an idiot for feeling bad because you felt excluded, even when involved in the planning. However, you displayed idiot behavior when you made the event about you and how you paid for everything. After all, you're raising a family together. Teamwork and understanding are essential. My husband, 38, and I, 36 female, have been married for 10 years and have 3 kids, pre-tween, young grammar school, and toddler. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and my husband is notoriously bad at gift giving and that sort of thing. I have rather specific taste, so I have to coach him on what I want for birthdays, Christmas, anniversaries, etc. But yesterday, he actually did a pretty good job. He had the kids all make me handmade cards, made me breakfast in bed, took the kids out of the house for the afternoon so I could get a mani-pedi and relax, and got me a nice bottle of wine with some fancy cheese and chocolate. Last night, after the kids went to bed, I thanked him for a great day and expressed how surprised I was that he actually stepped up. He told me I deserved it, but he also said that he hoped I could do something similar for him for Father's Day this year. I asked him what that was supposed to mean, and he asked me if I remembered what I did for Father's Day last year, but I couldn't remember. He then reminded me that I did nothing for him for Father's Day last year. Then I remembered that I was at my sister's wedding for Father's Day last year. My younger sister had a small, out-of-state, child-free wedding last June, which happened to be on Father's Day weekend. I was the maid of honor, and since our kids couldn't come, my husband stayed home with them while I was gone from Thursday through Sunday. I had every intention of still doing something for him for Father's Day, but I must have forgotten completely, and he never brought it up to me. So I felt a little blindsided and put on the spot when he asked me to remember what I did. I told him that I was sorry I forgot to do anything for him last year, but that I didn't appreciate being put on a spot like that. I also don't appreciate the implication that I purposely forgot or did nothing for him on purpose. I had a lot of things going on at that time last year, and I fully admit that I spaced it out and completely forgot. That's my fault, and I accept it, but don't rub my face in it. I asked him why he didn't just bring it up to me, and he said it's not his responsibility to remind me. He said he didn't bring it up because he figured I'd get defensive about it and try to make excuses, exactly like I was doing. He then reminded me that I also forgot to get him anything for his birthday last year. I told him that I didn't forget. His gift was just delivered late. He then told me he had access to our Prime account too, and he saw that I ordered it on his birthday. I told him he was being a jerk and ruining what was, up until then, a perfectly good Mother's Day. He said he's not trying to be a jerk. He's just letting me know that he needs to feel that there's some sort of reciprocation for this kind of thing. Now I feel like he only stepped up so he could rub my face in it that I didn't do anything for him last year. You are the idiot. So your husband's a terrible gift giver, yet you did nothing for Father's Day and only half-baked a last-minute gift for his birthday. Are you somehow trying to blame him because you did nothing for him on Father's Day and almost forgot his birthday? Girl, what the heck? Yes, you went to a wedding, but you couldn't manage to have the kids give him a card at least? He most likely did you a good Mother's Day because he didn't want you to feel how he did last year. Being out of town is no reason to not have a plan or something delivered. I reschedule holidays all the time. It's not that hard to say to the honoree, I have to be out of town on X date, but let's do something special for the holiday, the weekend before or after. They know you didn't forget. You still do something to celebrate them, and whatever needs to get taken care of gets taken care of. OP, you're getting defensive, and it's making you an idiot. You're the one who's repeatedly screwed up. It doesn't sound like he was trying to rub your face in anything, just that he was saying he was glad you appreciated the effort, and that he'd appreciate a similar effort from you in the future. You're the one who couldn't even remember you'd done nothing for Father's Day. You only have one person to be angry at here. You. He's heard you ask for more autonomous effort and stepped up. Now he's asking you to do the same, which sounds entirely fair, given how you've recently handled events. My boyfriend, 20, and I, female 20, rented an Airbnb lake house for this week, and we invited some friends. There are 8 of us on this trip. My boyfriend, Alex, Kate and her boyfriend, James, Alyssa, and her boyfriend, Thomas, and 2 of our single friends, Lauren and Simon. The lake house has 4 bedrooms. Bedroom number 1, 2, and 3 have king beds, and bedroom 4 has a bunk bed. We specifically got this Airbnb because it made sense that the couples would sleep on the king beds and the 2 singles would get the bunk bed. Everyone drove up to the Airbnb this morning. My boyfriend and I were the last ones that got there because we stopped to get everybody lunch. Everyone had picked their rooms and unloaded their bags by the time we got there. The last room left was the bunk room bed. I stepped into the living room where everyone was and asked why Lauren and Simon weren't sleeping in the bunk bedroom. Lauren said the king bed was more comfortable. Simon and I don't want to sleep on the bunk bed. I said that's not fair. The other couples all get a king bed. The bunk bed was specifically for you guys, so please just move your stuff. Lauren then said, no, we got here first, so we got dibs. I then said either you guys move into the bunk bed room or you guys can leave. Alex and I are the ones that paid for the Airbnb, so at the end of the day, what we say goes. Lauren then got all mad, grabbed her stuff, and left. Simon got up and said it wasn't a problem, that he'd move into the bunk bed room. I got a text from Lauren just now, saying that I was being a witch over a literal bunk bed. All of our other friends are on our side about this. But I don't know. Am I the idiot? I didn't mean to upset Lauren, but she was so difficult. So am I the idiot for telling my friend to leave our Airbnb? Edit. The Airbnb was completely paid for by me and Alex. Everyone else was in charge of food, snacks, alcohol, and any activities we wanted to do. We didn't ask anyone to pay their share of the Airbnb. Not the idiot. Your friend Lauren is inconsiderate to a mind-boggling degree, even if everyone was paying an equal share. I think it would be a common courtesy to offer king-size beds to couples. I don't think that's a stretch. Calling dibs? What are we, 12 years old? To add, also, if someone has booked or arranged or coordinated something for a group, it really is just the considerate thing to do to offer a choice in sleeping arrangements. Lauren sounds entitled as heck, and in my opinion, I'd lose her as a friend real quick when the vacay's over because she just showed her true colors to you. You paid for the Airbnb, and while you were getting everyone lunch, she sniped a room from you, even after agreeing to take the bunked bed rooms. It's even worse when you'll consider that you paid for it. Of course you should get a regular room. Personally, I get annoyed by the assumption that I'll make do with sleeping in bunk beds, the couch, or even the floor, just because I'm single. Why shouldn't I get a nice room too? But the solution to that is speaking up ahead of time and coming to an agreement with the group, not trying to strong-arm things. Everyone's the idiot here. You all should have communicated better before booking about who would sleep where. You really shouldn't assume that people will be fine with getting a less nice room just because they aren't in a couple. For background, me and Leslie, dated in high school, but broke up because she lied to me about her feelings. It caused me to have trust issues years later, and I'm still working it out in therapy. My wife Holly lost her grandfather this week. I've never had a chance to meet him since he lived in a nursing home, but she was devastated. We flew down for the funeral this past weekend. While there, I was shocked to see my ex. The funeral was nowhere near our hometown, so I had no idea what she was doing there. I walked over there to confront her, and she said she worked at his nursing home and was very fond of him. I told her I didn't care, that this funeral was for family, and she needed to leave. Frankly, her being there in the first place was creepy. She told me she had no idea I would even be there, and she was invited to the funeral by the family, so she was staying. I told her if she didn't leave, I'd call the cops for harassment and stalking, since I told her years ago I never wanted to see her again. She made both my wife and me uncomfortable. Later she saw reason and left, and the rest of the funeral went ahead as planned. My wife was happy I made her leave, but now her family's mad, especially her aunt. Her aunt lived nearby, visited him most, and said that my ex was her dad's favorite nurse. I guess seeing her family mad has now made my wife question if I did the right thing, because now even she's saying we should have just let her stay. But I still think I did the right thing by kicking the psycho out. You are the idiot. You caused a scene at a funeral for a person you've never met because your high school ex was there? What a nightmare. Your wife is still with you after you publicly threw a tantrum over having to be in the same room as an ex from high school? It's not about you, moron. You had never met the deceased. She was invited to the funeral and had obviously cared for him. She wasn't there because of you, and you should be ashamed for making yourself the main character here and acting out of spite because of a high school ex. What sort of entitlement did you feel that you get to decide for the funeral guest of someone you've never met? How dare you? You should have left if you were uncomfortable, not her. Clearly, whatever type of therapy you're getting isn't working if the first thing you do when you see your ex at a funeral is to cause a scene, threaten to press false charges for stalking her, and kick her out of the funeral she was invited to. Of course, your wife is also the idiot for giddily going along with your adult tantrum, despite the wishes of the rest of her family and the wishes of her deceased grandfather. Both of you peaked in high school and haven't matured since.